We'll call the meeting to order. Everybody got a chance to kind of look at the minutes from last meeting, and we've got a motion to approve those.
Move to approve.
I'll second it.
Second, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Okay, and I think the next agenda item is the unfinished business with the pool fencing requirements for the amendment to the IPMC. Sorry, my name is Sean Radnick. I'm the inspections director for the city of Fargo. During the last meeting, there were some questions on some different things within that section that need some clarification. As far as I could see, there was about 4 questions, so I'll answer those first, and then if you have any additional questions afterwards, we'll address those at that time.
Okay.
So the first one was the spacing for the chain link fence. The reason why that provision is in there 1 3/4 inches is because that's considered an anti-climb fence. If you want to make a motion to change that to more of a standardized thing, you can't get the 1 3/4 inch stuff at Menards or Home Depot, Lowe's and stuff. It's all 2 inch and above. And I don't think there's going to be a huge issue with it if we go with that direction. I don't see a lot of people actually using it, but I don't think there's going to be a huge issue. It's just not considered an anti-climb fence, and that's why it was in the provisions previously, and that's why it was laid out in there like that. So
Yeah, and I think our concern was that if we were creating something that wasn't a standard fence,
Yeah.
we were maybe making a hardship on the public.
you can order it, it's kind of a special order, but I do agree. It's if you can't go pick it up right there, a lot of people aren't going to try and order it, and it may be more of a hazard not to have it than it would be to have.
Yeah,
Larger
they might already have an existing fence, and that fence is no longer fits the code.
Yeah, so if we just do standard chain link fence, then I think that would be perfectly acceptable, and we can make that change within the
Okay.
provisions. The next was the definition of a pool. The pool and spa code from the ICC does have a better definition, but the one that we do have in the IPMC right now just stipulates that private pools, hot tubs, and spas containing water more than 24 inches in depth shall comply with the surrounding shall be completely surrounded by a fence or barrier not less than 48 inches in height. So that's just saying it's kind of giving us the guidance of when we're supposed to be having these barriers and stuff already. So not adding that definition, I don't think would change much of the language or change any of the intent of what this section of the code would be doing. So it's going to be anything that's 24 inches or greater in depth. So if they're looking at a small 18-inch pool or 18-inch deep pool, or they're looking at a small kiddie pool that's less than 12 inches deep, some of those aren't going to require the barrier. It's going to be anything over 24 inches. Then
Okay.
we're looking for the barrier, and we're looking at more of those pop-up pools and stuff that you can get at any of the big box stores, Walmart, Target, things like that, where they have the inflatable ring around the outside, and then they come up and they're 24 inches or more in depth. Most of them, I think, are around 36 to 48 inches in depth, and that's what we're looking to provide the barrier for.
Okay.
Also, the 36-inch spacing for equipment. Once again, it's like those pop-up pools. So if you have your fence around the pool, they usually have those tubes that come out, and they have a piece of equipment that sits right there. It's not necessarily like was discussed at the last meeting for the equipment for a permanent pool that's around the corner and stuff more than 36 inches away. I think this provision is more so for those smaller pop-up type pools where we're going to need the barrier, and they have the equipment that's very close to the barrier so that a child can't climb on top of it and get over the 48-inch barrier. I think it's just to give that some space so that they don't have the opportunity to go over. So like if you have the barrier and then you have a small piece of equipment that's about 24 inches high, the pump that they usually come with, they can't climb on top of that and try and get over the barrier.
Do
So
we need to define that better within that language to know that we're referring to the pop-up type pools or stuff and not permanent in-ground?
this whole provision is basically for that when you're doing say an in-ground pool or you're doing a permanent above ground pool and stuff. A lot of those have the barriers, and they also have the equipment that's farther away and things like that. This provision is more so for those small pools that people are just getting at Walmart, Menards, things like that, that they inflate the ring, they pop it up, and then you have this little piece of equipment that's off to the side that runs all the water through, filters it, pumps it, things like that. I think you can add heaters to them and stuff like that. And they sit kind of right next to it, and they're very
Yeah.
close. It's just saying that you have to keep those 36 inches away from the barrier, so nobody can get on top of that and access over the barrier.
Okay.
So. And I think the last one, the cover for the spa or hot tubs, that's actually addressed in 3032. There's an exception that says spa or hot tubs with a safety cover that complies with ASTM F1346 shall be exempt from the provisions of this section. So if you've got a hot tub that, and I think most of the covers now do adhere to that standard. If you've got a hot tub with the cover on it, it's meeting the requirements. We wouldn't have to have a barrier around it.
Okay.
So,
Perfect.
is there any other clarification issues? Anything else you want to discuss on it? Any other?
You guys got anything?
No.
I don't think we have anything further.
Okay, so we can definitely make that one change about the chain link fence to it and stuff before we bring it out of here. But if you guys would like to approve it based on that change, that would be great. If not, we can bring it back with that change in it and have you look at it again.
Okay. If one of you guys want to make a motion to approve with making the change to a standard 2-inch chain link.
Yeah, I'll make that motion.
Yeah, I'll
Have a
second it.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Don't believe. Did you have any new business?
Not at this time, no.
Any announcements?
Nope, not at this time.
Okay, call for adjournment.
Move to adjourn.
I'll second it.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Thank
We
you,
are
guys.
adjourned.